Hello, we're here at MCM London, and I'm with Dwight from the Marvel Legends team.
Yes, sir.
How are you enjoying London, Dwight?
It's fantastic. It's only my second time here. I haven't had a chance to really spend much time here, and it's been my first MCM. It's been a wonderful show and a lot of wonderful people.
Amazing. You're actually completing the hat trick for me now. I had Ryan last year, Dan the year before, and I was like, when are we going to get Dwight over? And then here you are.
All right. When are you going to get Dwight over? You did the B team, so now you got to bring in the A team. So I get it.
That's it. No, I'm glad. I'm really pleased that you're here.
I love you guys. I'm sorry. I don't mean any of that.
There's been some really good stuff going on with Marvel Legends recently. Lots of changes, lots of kind of slightly different approaches to stuff and things like that. It's not my style to try to dig and try to get stuff out of you that isn't yet revealed.
Okay.
Already had some really cool reveals here at MCM. 3 Captain America Brave New World figures.
Yes.
Which we've been kind of asking for a while. Red Hulk, Falcon, and of course Captain America as well. So, from I don't know if this is design or marketing side of it, but as a long-term Marvel Legends collector, we used to get it that the kind of figures came out ahead of the movie. There was a couple of kind of, not hiccups, but a couple of less than accurate figures that came out. So things like some of the ones from Infinity War and Endgame and stuff, which obviously from totally understandable because you get your promo images and stuff to work from. Does this Captain America kind of shift us back to that where we're going to be getting figures ahead of the movies, or is this just a fluke?
Captain America was a little different because the timing of this movie shuffled a little bit around. We had started these figures quite a while ago, but you know, the world we live in has been crazy for the last few years, and dealing with the pandemic and things, there's been some shufflings and some timeline adjustments. So that's why we had a little bit more, space, and we had these things ready up ahead of time. Our development schedules we try to keep them constant, but the pace of the studios making the films quicker and quicker is becoming, sometimes a bit of a challenge for us to make sure we get the stuff done at the right time. So that's why there's sometimes a little bit of shuffle in whether we can have things before a film or after a film, as well as the characters that we put into them. The studios are very protective, as they should be, of their IP and what they do, and they will kind of determine what they want us to have ahead of the film for pre-release, and then there's always some really special secrets that sometimes they don't even share with us till after the film, to make sure that no possible way could anything leak out to ruin their big awesome surprises.
Of course, it's totally understandable. Most importantly, Spider-Man No Way Home was obviously the big one. You guys put out a 3-pack ahead of it, and then following that, you did the single release card, retro card kind of things. There's still 2 characters that we're missing.
2?
Right? 2 characters we're missing, which is obviously, for anyone that doesn't know, Electro and Lizard.
And you want an Electro?
Have they been designed? We're going to complete the team, aren't we? Come on.
I mean, there's probably a fair opportunity for us to, add a little lightning and a little scales to our line.
Brilliant. So I'm a completionist. I like to have things completed, and my No Way Home setup, should we say, is missing a couple of characters. So
that's a fair assessment, and it's been noted by the team, and we'll do our best to address it in a timely manner.
Okay, fair enough. The Stranger Tales line.
Yes.
Obviously, that's the recent one to drop. I've seen it on a few of the stands here. I know a lot of the pre-orders for people are arriving in their mailboxes at the moment. It's a little bit of a shift in kind of the kind of Marvel characters that we're doing. They're based on the kind of more horror genre, the kind of more, how to put it, the horror side of Marvel. I know that we saw a couple of those with the previous Haslab, with the characters that came out, that were due to come out, with the Hell Charger. Obviously didn't make it. Are we likely to see a second wave of Strange Tale figures, or is this sort of a one and done kind of, we're going to touch on horror, or is that a possible area that we're also going to see more of?
It's a possible area that we would see more of. What it ultimately comes down to is the fan support, and how well the wave does. If if it's gobbled up and fans are really excited to see some this different kind of horror twist on Legends, we'd be happy to develop more of those types of characters. There's a handful that I can think of immediately that I want to dip my toe in the water on, and I would be happy to try to find a way to work with our partners to figure out a way to get the more traditional Goblin Queen or a Mephisto or
Don't say the M word,
yeah,
Dwight. Don't say the M word.
Or Nasty I can't remember I don't know how to pronounce that one. But other other demony things. I would love to dip my toe into the water because why not dabble in the occult in our toy lines?
Why not?
Yeah.
The reason I ask as well is that back in the day, we had like a classic monsters kind of
the Wolfman, Dracula,
that kind of stuff. Obviously, we've seen Dracula in this Strange Tales wave, but he's the kind of more modern version.
Yes.
I'm sure I asked Ryan or Dan in previous years, but is there any chance that we would touch on that kind of IP again, as in give us a more classic Dracula, or is that just something that again is a maybe?
That's a potential. Yeah, I'd be happy to. Dracula, the modern Dracula is my favorite figure in that wave. Maybe on par with Blackheart. I really like the Build-A-Figure.
Blackheart looks really good.
But there's no reason why we can't explore it. We know we still need a Werewolf by Night. There's a Franken Punisher and other Franken creatures that we could do. So I'm totally open to that. I think honestly, let's see how the wave does. If it's supported like many of our other waves, we definitely could look at doing that. If not, we would have to just kind of we would never say no, but we would just kind of put a pin in it, move it to the side, and move on to something different, and try to make sure whatever we make is resonating with what you, the fans, want the most.
Perfect. You mentioned Werewolf by Night. As I'm speaking to a designer, I'm going to tell you, because I told Dan and he said, yeah, it's cool, but Werewolf by Night, the MCU version, very black and white, very stylized. You've now given us a Man-Thing as a standard deluxe. A 2-pack with Werewolf by Night and Man-Thing, but in black and white.
Oh, that's kind of cool.
Yeah.
Well, how about we go if we go that way, we got to theme it. So, we don't like doing, why not make it an assortment? Okay. And what if we had a black and white Man-Thing in Werewolf by Night, finished with paired with a black and white Vision and Scarlet Witch from the WandaVision, and we could have a whole.
Now you're thinking. That's. I just think with the black and white, the stylized kind of MCU shows, I think there's some real potential there, because I know that other brands and other lines have done kind of sketchbook versions of characters and things like that, and they always sell very well. So I'm still gunning for a black and white.
Yeah, right. Yeah, I'm open to it. I wouldn't. The Werewolf though, that would probably if we did the Disney Plus version, that would be an all new figure because he's very different than anything that we have in our tooling library.
Yes, Spider-Man animated figures, they're always very popular, and obviously in recent years we've kind of got those kind of direct from the animation figures in the 2-packs and stuff like that. There are still a couple of characters that we're missing, things like Blade and Punisher. Obviously they have a very kind of unique look in the comic book, in the actual cartoon. Are we done with the animated Spider-Man, or are there still kind of pens being scribbled for those?
We're done with the current VHS 2-pack format.
Okay.
But we definitely are open to doing more of those types of characters on the Spider Retro card if we can. There's other characters that are in the works. Some of those we probably wouldn't put out. We'd have to find a special way to look at them. Okay. Certain characters we have to reserve for certain channels. So some of those characters you referenced, we'd have to find the right place to do them. Okay. But they definitely would be in the range of options that we could explore. Okay,
amazing. Looking right at us in the cabinet behind the camera, the new Sentinel that you revealed at New York Comic-Con, literally just last week, wasn't it? Amazing looking.
Thank you.
I've got a Haslab. Okay. I've got the Haslab Sentinel.
So you can turn that one into master mold.
This is my question, is people are saying. So I'm a big fan of the X-Men 97 and the animated X-Men and stuff. The design of the Sentinel for this one is obviously a lot more simplistic compared to the Haslab.
Yes.
Was that an easier job from a design point of view, or is there still a lot of work that goes like? How does that kind of differ from your perspective?
Potentially, but when you make a figure of that size, that's that simple and clean in design, you get nervous sometimes as to will it translate or look potentially cheap, because it doesn't have all of that, stuff all over it like the Haslab had. So it was more just kind of honestly, I made changes to this thing just 2 weeks ago.
Wow.
When we started seeing the development models from the vendor, there was things that just weren't translating when you saw it all put together. Because when you start on it and you're just looking at it a gray form figure in the sculpt form, you don't always see everything. But then when our paint department was applying the paint and we were looking at it, we're like, that's not working. I don't like what I'm seeing. So even though we were, in our minds, we were done and we were baked, we were like, that I got to make a change. So it's kind of like, I can't. My engineer, it's like, do you mind if I work on this just a little bit more? And you know, he just looks at me with his angry eyes, and he's just like, "How long is it gonna take?" I'm like, "Not long at all." And he's like, "Get it done."
Obviously, as well, on the subject of the Sentinel, this year we didn't have a Haslab from Marvel Legends, but instead we had the Dragon Man and the Sentinel.
Yes.
Are Marvel Legends kind of done with the Haslab project, or is it likely we might see something else down the line? Basically, are you designing something potentially to come out in the future?
Well, when we pitched the X97 Sentinel, we had about 8 to 10 concepts on sheets that we were looking at. We took them to some focus groups, kind of looked at what they might like and see what raised to the top. And what we realized was some of the things that you guys wanted the most didn't have to be such a large, expensive thing. We were able to bring it down and do a little bit more modest thing, and they were more desired. So we didn't want to hide them behind a cap. We said we feel that these are strong enough concepts that the fans are going to want. So we decided we're going to do them. And the only difference is just opening a pre-order window instead of having you guys and having us stress out over, I want this, will it happen? I don't like that. If I'm going to spend my time pouring love and passion into a project for the fans, I want it to be real, right? So, you know, when they don't work out, it's heartbreaking. So we wanted to try to come up with a pivot. Now, that's not to say that we would never do a Haslab proper again. I think if we were to explore something, as an example, this has been discussed this weekend, if we were going to do something like Fin Fang Foom.
That's what I've said. I've been saying it for years.
Yeah,
Fin Fang Foom.
like Fin Fang Foom we could potentially do. He might be, I've not done research, I'm just guessing. He might be a $400 to $500 item. And if we were doing an item that was that big, it would probably be a traditional Haslab. But if we can find things that are awesome, that we have faith in, and that the fans are responding positively through testing, like the Sentinel, you know, 175, you know, you might see more of that stuff in the other models. So there's both models. I think both of them have pros and cons. I personally like this current pre-order model better. It's less stressful for me. You know, you guys try to kill me when you guys don't fund a campaign to the last day. 7,000 people got the Giant Man in the last day. That's why. Why do you want me to die? Do you want me to have a heart attack and move on to the next person? Because that's what you're doing to me when you stress me out. I'm old. Look at this gray. This gray wasn't here before you guys put this here.
I must admit that the one thing I do like about the Haslab format from you guys on the Marvel team is your kind of marketing process throughout their live streams and the drop-ins. They're always very good fun. Like the three of you, I'm not the first to say it, you're very entertaining, you're very good to watch. One last question then on Haslab and then we'll move on. But obviously, you know, there has been Haslabs that haven't funded, like the Hell Charger. From a design point of view, I'm guessing that is heartbreaking to kind of put that much work into it to then see kind of other companies and third-party companies kind of mimic the product, shall we say. I backed the Hell Charger. I'm going to say it now. I'll say it to your face. I did back it. I was devastated it didn't get funded. But yeah, so I'm guessing that with this model, it's a lot better from a design point of view because you know that stuff's going to get made.
Yeah.
So, fantastic.
Yeah. I mean, we can't control what's done outside of our borders and our walls, and I think there's enough, space as long as you're not stepping on infringements that would be protected. I think there's enough awesome stuff that everybody should have a chance to find a way to make and do what they want, as long as they're being respectful of the brands. And if you're not, if you can find a way to do something that's unique and special but not infringe, then it is what it is.
One last question for you, Dwight. Massive Ghost Rider fan.
Okay.
Danny Ketch, fantastic. Absolutely love it. Love that we've got a new bike and it's got that kind of flame effect where we can pop up wheelie and everything.
That was our sculptor. He added that after the fact. That wasn't in my input.
Was it not?
Nope,
Oh,
it was
well,
not. He, our sculptor, our Dan, we love you, Dan. He's like, what do you think about doing this? And we're like, I don't know if we can. I don't know if we can afford it at the end of the day. But if you feel strongly about it, add it to it. That's one thing I love about my team. It's not me. It's every person on the Marvel team loves this brand as much as I do, and as much as many of you guys do. And the cool thing about that, and what that means, is everyone along the development cycle brings something special to the project. It's not like I sit in a bubble and I just like lay out the master plan for the design. I put a lot of effort in, but the next person who looks at it gets a chance to say, hey, what about this? Did you think about this? Do you think this could work? And sometimes we sit down and we're like, that's a brilliant idea. Do it. And other times we're like, I don't think that's the right idea now, but I appreciate the thinking and the passion. So the fact that every one of us, I love all of our teams. I love all the people that are, in the Action Brands team at Hasbro. But I feel very strongly, and I've said it for many times, that I feel that the Marvel team is one of my, over all my years at Hasbro, it's one of the most cohesive and passionate teams across all three disciplines, which is rare. It's like to have everybody from your marketing to your engineering to your design and all of the additional amazing support teams. Everybody loves this product so much, and they're willing to go so far above and beyond to make these things special for all of you guys who support us for all these years. So
perfect. So just to close up, with Dan and Ryan, I've always kind of put in a wish list at the end. I've mentioned Ghost Rider a few times.
Okay.
An updated Johnny bike would be really cool.
So coming next, here we go.
Accurate, so if you could give us that. I was a big fan of the Rider series when you guys put that out, so if we could have an updated.
All right, well let me curveball you.
Okay.
Updated Johnny, Vengeance, or Ghost Rider 2099.
Can we have all of the above with a Robbie Reyes as well?
And a Robbie.
And then round it off?
And a Robbie.
So Robbie Reyes and an updated Johnny bike. But yeah, if we could get more Ghost Rider and more kind of Strange Tales, kind of that side of it, it'd be fantastic. But no, just thank you very much for speaking with me, Dwight.
My pleasure.
Thank you for everything you do. Obviously, Legend still continues to go from strength to strength, so I look forward to seeing what's in 2025.
Yeah, I just showed it. Were you not paying attention to the panel? It was there.
That's what I'm saying.
It was up there.
I'm looking forward to seeing what's coming. I'm looking forward to. That's not all that's coming out. Let's be honest. There's going to be more. So,
I'm looking forward to revealing the next couple of years to you guys as well. 2 years. We're already developing 2026 and thinking about 2027. Oh. Next time you see me, I'm going to be bald, I'm going to have a long beard, I'm going to have so many wrinkles, and I'm just going to be a shell of a man, and I'm going to be introducing you to my replacement. I'll have a replacement designer by then to say, it's his now, I'm tapped out. But not yet. I think I got a little bit more in me.
Dwight, thank you very much.
Yeah, man. Pleasure, thank you.
Enjoy the rest of London.
You too, thanks.
Thank you.